Seit oder Seit. They look exactly the same, right? But unfortunately, they are not, because Seit can be a preposition, but it can also be a Konjunktion, a conjunction. And we're not finished yet, because you most probably also have seen this one, Seitdem or Seitdem in two words. This Seitdem in two words, I'm going to do it right now because this is actually just the preposition seit plus the dative, definite dative article, neutral or masculine, dem. So this means we are left with those three. Seit, used as a preposition, seit, used as a conjunction, eine Konjunktion, and seitdem, which can be also a conjunction or also an adverb, ein Adverb. And in this video, I will tell you everything about those three words, or actually just two, in those four different grammatical situations. And to make it easier from the beginning, you see here this seit can be a conjunction, seitdem can be a conjunction. This means they are actually synonyms. They are exactly the same. Seit as a conjunction is the same as seitdem as a conjunction, and used in the same way and has the same meaning. Important though to understand, both are possible, both are grammatically correct, but in daily life we mostly use seit and not seitdem as a conjunction. More about this later. Now let's start with the most common one, which is seit used as a preposition. More specifically, eine Dativpräposition, which takes always the dative case. And also important, this is a time preposition. We always talk about time. In English, it's translated with for or since. And this is a problem for English speakers because, as you can see, in English, you have two translations. In German, we just have seit. The rule here is for English, when you use for, you talk about a time period. And when you use since, you talk about a point in time, a specific point in time. I'm not going into too much detail here about this video because we already have a video linked below in the description, or at the end of this lesson, you will find a video directly on your screen. More important for German, some features is something started in the past and is still ongoing. When we use seit as a preposition, together with a time word usually, or an event, it's something that started in the past and is still ongoing. This means it's mainly used in Präsens, in present tense, because it's still ongoing. That's not the same in English, because in English you mostly use the present perfect tense, that's perfect, when you use for or since. In German, we mainly use seit, the preposition seit, together with Präsens. You can use it with perfect as well. I will give you an example just in a second. But for most situations, you will use it with Präsens. Zum Beispiel, Markus lebt seit einem Monat in Köln. Markus lebt seit einem Monat in Köln. Markus has been living in Cologne for a month. See this for here because a month is a time duration. German, seit, eine Dativpräposition. This means it's followed by the article and the noun in dative case, einem Monat. Oder lernt seit letztem Montag Deutsch. Lernt seit letztem Montag Deutsch. He has been learning German since last Monday. Here we talk about a point in time. Montag is a specific time. Therefore, in English, you use this since. But again, in German, so much easier. We just have seit. Oder Gabi ist seit einer Woche im Urlaub. Gabi ist seit einer Woche im Urlaub. Gabi has been on vacation for a week. Or es regnet schon seit Freitag. Es regnet schon seit Freitag. It's been raining since Friday. Here we see in German seit Freitag there is no article before Freitag because this is very common. If we just talk about a weekday, we usually don't add an article. Another example. You haven't seen Tom. Tom is a friend of yours and you haven't seen him for a long time. Hi Tom, wie geht's? Ich habe dich bestimmt seit einem Jahr nicht mehr gesehen. Ich habe dich bestimmt seit einem Jahr nicht mehr gesehen. Hi Tom, how are you? I haven't seen you in at least a year, or literally for at least a year. And here in German you see this is actually imperfect, in present perfect tense. Seit einem Jahr, ich habe dich gesehen oder nicht mehr gesehen. So this is possible but not that common, because here we talk about an event which happened in the past and is completed in the past. That's why we use perfect, the present perfect tense. Let's go to seit oder seitdem, which are both conjunctions and both can be used for the same situation. Again, seit is way more common. It's important to understand, seitdem ist eine Nebensatzkonjunktion. This means it introduces a Nebensatz, a subordinate clause, and you know what this means. The conjugated verb gets pushed to the end. In English, it's mostly translated with since. So we use seit oder seitdem as a conjunction when something started in the past but is still ongoing, and then we use it in combination with Präsens, present tense. Something is still ongoing. In German, we use the present tense. But if something that happened or was completed in the past, then we use seit plus perfect plus the present perfect tense. Again, because this, whatever happened, is completed in the past. Zum Beispiel, Satz im Präsens. Seit es wieder wärmer ist, bin ich viel draußen. Seit es wieder wärmer ist, bin ich viel draußen. Since it's been warmer again, I've been outside a lot. Spring is coming, der Frühling kommt, schön, es wird wärmer und die Leute gehen wieder mehr nach draußen. Oder seit Tom Yoga macht, fühlt er sich besser. Seit Tom Yoga macht, fühlt er sich besser. Since Tom started doing yoga, he has been feeling better. One day I will try as well. Here we have both sentences start with the Nebensatz, the subordinate clause, with the conjunction in the beginning. This is, I would say, the most common situation when you use seit oder seitdem as the conjunction, that you start with the subordinate clause, with the Nebensatz, with the conjunction seit. But of course you can also start with the main clause, like for example here, Julia hat mehr Freizeit, seit sie einen neuen Job hat. Julia hat mehr Freizeit, seit sie einen neuen Job hat. Julia has more free time since she started a new job, or literally since she has a new job. So here again, you could start with seit, with the subordinate clause. Seit Julia einen neuen Job hat, hat sie mehr Freizeit. Or like here, Julia hat mehr Freizeit, seit sie einen neuen Job hat. Both are correct, both are possible. Again, I would say it's more common to start the sentence with the subordinate clause when you use seit as a conjunction. Now, all three example sentences we just did were in Präsens, present tense. But as mentioned, you can also use it to talk about the past when something is completed in the past. Like for example here, seit sie ein Rad gekauft hat, macht sie Sport. Seit sie ein Rad oder ein Fahrrad, that's the short form for Fahrrad, bicycle, seit sie ein Fahrrad gekauft hat, macht sie Sport. Since she bought a bike or bicycle, she has been exercising. So this means this event, buying this bicycle, is completed and happened in the past. And since then, she's doing more sport, or she's exercising more. That's why macht sie Sport in Präsens. But the thing when she bought it is in the past. That's why we use here perfect. Sie hat ein Rad gekauft. Here as well, more common is for seit also as a conjunction used in Präsens because usually something is still ongoing. Let's go to seitdem as an adverb, ein Adverb. mostly translated in English with this since then or ever since. It refers back to information mentioned before, and that's important to understand because you cannot just use seitdem as an adverb to start a sentence without any context. So you always have some knowledge or some context, some information mentioned before, and then you can use this seitdem as an adverb to refer back to this information. And like other adverbs as well, it's a little bit tricky because it can stand on different positions. Can also be an advantage, of course, because there's no specific rules where it stands. But usually the subject and verb, they are fixed. And then this seitdem as an adverb is quite flexible in terms of positioning. Zum Beispiel, Maria war einmal in Rom. Seitdem liebt sie die Stadt. Maria war einmal in Rom. Seitdem liebt sie die Stadt. Maria visited Rome once or was in Rome once. She loved the city ever since, or since then she loves the city, literal translation. Now here we have two sentences actually, right? Maria war einmal in Rom, Punkt. Seitdem liebt sie die Stadt, Punkt. Two sentences and you start with seitdem. But you cannot put it the other way. So you cannot say seitdem liebt sie die Stadt. People wouldn't understand what you talk about, what you mean, what to refer back to. So you need to have this information in the first sentence that she was in Rome once. But you cannot only use it with two sentences, you can also combine it into one sentence or with the conjunction und. Like for example here, ich hatte einen Unfall und bin seitdem vorsichtiger. Ich hatte einen Unfall und bin seitdem vorsichtiger. I had an accident and I have been more careful ever since. And again, in both situations, this seitdem is referring back to information mentioned before. In the first sentence, that Maria was in Rome once, and in the second sentence, that I had an accident. Another example. Anna und Peter haben kürzlich ein Auto gekauft. Seitdem reisen sie viel mehr. Anna und Peter haben kürzlich ein Auto gekauft. Seitdem reisen sie viel mehr. Anna and Peter recently bought a car. Since then, they have been traveling a lot more. And here the same thing. Seitdem is referring back to information mentioned before, which is here Anna and Peter who bought a car recently. And it's important to understand that this seitdem used as an adverb can actually be replaced with seit or seitdem used as a conjunction. So what I mean is this sentence here is using seitdem with an adverb. But you can actually change this sentence but express exactly the same thing and use a conjunction. So for this situation, it would become like this. Seitdem oder seit, conjunction, Anna und Peter ein Auto gekauft haben, reisen sie viel mehr. Seitdem Anna oder seit Anna und Peter ein Auto gekauft haben, reisen sie viel mehr. The information is exactly the same. And in English, it's also almost exactly the same. It's just in German, these are not the same things. In the first one, seitdem is an adverb. In the second one, it's a conjunction introducing a Nebensatz. Let's go to the bonus tip. If you have a single time noun, a noun, specifically a noun, or specific event, like for example, Montag, ja oder Urlaub, then use seit as a preposition. Zum Beispiel seit Montag, seit letztem Jahr oder seit dem Urlaub. Seit as a preposition. If, of course, if you have a noun, more specifically, a single time noun or specific event. If you have a complete thought or action, meaning you have a subject and a verb, then use seit oder seitdem as a conjunction. Seit es regnet, habe ich schlechte Laune. Seit ich hier wohne, gehe ich mehr joggen. Seit Tom ein Rad gekauft hat, macht er mehr Sport. And if you don't want to repeat yourself, referring back to something mentioned before, then use seitdem as an adverb. Lea wohnt in Köln. Seitdem lernt sie Deutsch. Ich hatte einen Unfall. Seitdem bin ich vorsichtiger. Oder Rob hat ein neues Bett. Seitdem schläft er viel besser. And if you also want to become better in terms of for, since and ago, if this is a problem for you, this for oder seit auf Deutsch, then this video is definitely helping. I hope you learned something. I hope you liked this video and I hope to see you again. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss und bye bye.